Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have probably one of the dumbest takes and the dumbest, stupidest, dummiest dumb things I've ever heard in my entire life. Now, as you guys probably know, there is a somewhat of a tipping culture over here in America. Like, you go out to dinner, you go have a nice movie, like, I don't know, what you kind of maybe go and do, give out some tips, maybe you go and see some girls, I don't know, whatever you're doing with your spare time. Basically, tipping is kind of a somewhat integral thing when it comes to some things that actually matter. Haircuts, or like, getting food, all that type of good stuff. But one thing that we have never really seen, thank God, is tipping when it comes to video games. Now, I'm sure there's a few different types of things when it comes to games, when it comes to like DLCs or microtransactions or buying like a little skin in a cash shop, which some people can maybe go one-to-one equate out to like a tip or a little bit of a bonus. And I would probably say the same thing for most indie games. Like, sometimes you have a small, cheaper game, you go throw the devs $5 for a little hat in the game to kind of support them a little more. It's kind of more of like a honor. Like, you get a little something out of it. It's like a pre-order bonus. It's like a Kickstarter bonus. It's like just a, hey, here's just a random fun cape skin, whatever it might be. And it's just like a little fun little homage. And in my mind, that's kind of what I would classify as tipping in the gaming sphere. But right now, we're now seeing the former Blizzard president is now pushing the idea of literally tipping, not alone just like big games, but potentially even AAA games that you quote unquote enjoy. And if you think the games are really, really special, like playing Overwatch for your 500th hour, instead of spending that money on a skin that you actually get something out of, or spend that money on a battle pass, which still is somewhat of their own tip itself, you instead just go and give the game money for nothing. Now, this is kind of the premise of this video. We're going to talk about how stupid it is, and if you guys heard me talk about this intro and how stupid it actually was just off that alone, you're probably going to agree with me. So make sure you guys leave a like, your thoughts down below, or subscribe, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one. But right now, like I said, I have never in my mind thought about the idea of tipping a literal video game. Not once in my life. Now, like I said, I definitely bought a little bit of microtransactions or like a $2 DLC or just something small to go support out devs, because once again, my viewpoint on that is that's fun. It's helping out the devs. You play League of Legends, you get a skin or whatever it might be. That game's free to play. That's fine. Like, I'm not against it. But one of the bigger issues is that if I have to spend money to go add even more money on top of a game that I'm playing, I think that you are an absolute idiot. Now, indie games, slightly different. I would give a little bit of a free pass. I have actually literally seen some indie games out there go and do little small things to help out with funding, or people really enjoy the game, but like, that's a very one-off case. When it comes to games like Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, I think a lot of those already have built-in monetization issues enough that we don't have to worry about giving them more. They're already kind of taking enough as is, and I'm not a big fan of this. So right now, the former Blizzard president thinks that tipping game creators is a splendid idea. Quote unquote, some games are that special. One day, we will not have to go and sit here and have people try to milk more money off of all of us. But saying, by now, everyone in the world knows that American tipping culture is getting out of hand. And I'd probably agree. Like, you can go pick up fast food and people are asking for tips. You can go, I think I've even seen memes of people doing self-checkout and they still want to go give out tips. Now, no one really knows where that goes at the end of the day, because you're the one that's bagging the groceries. You're the one that's actually scanning the groceries. You're the one that's paying. So who on earth is actually getting the tip? Like, we've been seeing memes like that throughout the years. And in all honesty, it kind of gets a little bit ridiculous. Now, I don't mind tipping for good service. I'm usually a big person who tips in the first place. A lot of my job income is maybe for, say, Twitch, or one of you guys that are spending your time to go watch like a product or a video or whatever it might be. So my thanks and kind of my, I guess, honor of having a chance to have any money from watching an ad or whatever it might be goes to people's time or their own money or their own donations or whatever it might be when it comes to my own job. And that's kind of how I always like to play it for. Like, if I'm getting paid a tip, like let's say for Twitch, I had some gift sub donations or a Prime sub. That is someone being nice to me and giving me a tip. So I always like to tip well myself. But once again, that's like for food. That's where for some odd reason their wage is like $2 an hour. So you kind of have to go and subsidize it up a little bit. Now, when it comes to other things such as, like, let's say maybe getting a drink at Starbucks, I'm, no offense, probably not going to go and tip. Now, if I'm someone out here at like an auto mechanic store, probably not going to go and tip. There is the few occasional issues, sure, like maybe on the occasion, maybe depending on the circumstances, but most of the time I think we could agree that, at least in video games, it's not common. So they're going to say that, they're basically saying that they want to go and have another way of supporting the creators of the games themselves. Mike Ybarra, the former president of Blizzard, shared his desire to tip developers of especially enjoyable games. When I beat a game, there were some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience was. At the end of the game, I've often thought, I wish I could give these folks another 10 or 20 bucks because it was worth more than my initial 70 and they didn't try to nickel and dime me every second. Now, I appreciate the sentiment. That's basically him trying to go and say like, hey, that's a cool idea. Hey, that's fun or whatever it might be. Well, like, I don't want to say this. Like, this is not him just saying, like, oh, this game was so good, I'm going to add a little bit of money on top of it. I wish I could pay more. This is him basically saying, hey, I've had this idea for a while as a player since I've been diving into single-player games recently. When I beat a game, there is some obby that just leaves me in awe of how awesome this experience was. They're saying, I wish I'd give these people more money. Now, he could be just saying it in, like, the general sense of, like, oh, I just want to give him a tip. The game is so good. But, like, in, like, that weird, like, man, that was such a good movie. I'm so hyped up. I can't wait for number 2, rather than, oh, let's go for the microtransaction ride. But this is also, don't forget, Blizzard people we're talking about, and as well, a lot of people who want to go and probably make a lot more money when it comes to most of their comments too as well. And some of the other people too are saying like, hey, here's a tip, just go make a good game and we'll buy it. F your tipping culture. Here's a tip, he can suck one, but just the tip. Tipping indie devs, especially solo devs, sure. That's kind of what I was saying too, because I've actually had other games out there that I'm like, okay, this game was literally a $5 game. It was worth 10 hours of my time. You want to know what? I want you to make another game. I want you to have enough food, because I know you're a small indie dev and like whatever. You go do a Patreon, you go a slightly higher tier just to help on out. You go maybe watch their Twitch stream and gift them like 5 subs and be like, hey man, thank you for making the game. You follow them on Twitter, you give some nice comments. Like sometimes things can go a lot farther than some AAA game like Call of Duty trying to ask for even more money on top of everything else. Like I said, and even for the example for Overwatch, where they keep on showing over here for this. Overwatch number 1 has skins you could buy in the game itself. So if you really like Overwatch and really want to keep the devs working, go buy a skin. Now, do I think that's what you should be doing? No, I think Blizzard as a whole should just be giving them extra maybe performance bonuses if like a skin does really well, or have a chance to go maybe share those rewards. Like I have like 1 skin every quarter and all that money can be maybe split between the team itself. Like there's fun, cool things that the companies can do to help out the people that are actually making the game enjoyable. I don't think that at the same time, if these are like a $70 billion company making billions of dollars a year and is now also owned by Xbox, just case in point for Activision, yeah, you guys already can make money everywhere. You guys literally make money when it comes to selling skins. You have cash shops, you have battle passes in pretty much every game. You have monthly subscription fees for World of Warcraft. Call of Duty has all this stuff combined and also a lot of other ads too as well tied into the game. Like they're literally having like Nicki Minaj's and stuff like that inside their game trying to go sell their skins. So I'm sitting over here thinking like you guys are already making enough money as is. So you guys are the people who are meant to go pay the devs and help support them out. We don't want to go have a tipping culture in video games. I think that's ridiculous. And they're also saying like, how about just spend $0 in Blizzard games? So what does it mean by tipping? Like giving Blizzard a 20 on the down low or sending money directly to individual devs? The latter could be a nice if you want to do it, but look, even if I like your products, I don't care about giving Oreos a little walking around money. I'm not really sure what Oreos mean, but I think the idea of like you don't always have to give out money. You don't always have to go and support people. You don't always have to do this. And if anything, go and give them just a normal pay. Some people are also here too as well saying like, we already do this. It's called microtransactions and DLCs. And that's kind of what I think as well. If I really like a game, let's say League of Legends, I'll buy a skin. Like I'll spend the 10 bucks, whatever, go for there. Or once again, indie games, I'll spend the extra $3 on a hat. Like I don't mind doing that. But individual tips getting nothing back is just not what the norm is when it comes to video games as a whole. And I don't think a lot of people should also appreciate that too as well. So he was mentioning like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate, and Elden Ring, saying, I know $70 is already a lot, and it is, I would say. It's a lot for a special lot of games, but it's an option at the end of the game. I wish I had at times. Some games are that special. No, I don't want that. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't want it. I'll buy a shirt, so I get something out of it. I'll go buy like a DLC because I get something out of it. I'll buy like a hat so I can get something out of it. But at the same time, bro, I'm not tipping more for already a $70 game, especially when it's like a Red Dead Redemption or a, like a Horizon Zero Dawn. Baldur's Gate, maybe. That's more of an indie game. I can kind of appreciate that a little bit more. Like, I could understand that a little bit more. It's a smaller company. It's not published by, like PlayStation or Xbox. Like, that makes a little bit more sense. But at the same time, they're probably making enough money to make sure they're probably blowing through money right now in Baldur's Gate. They probably made so much money. Sabara was ready for his idea to be disliked, and he was probably right. They said, I was surprised at how many people actually agreed that this is something to consider. I would never do this once in my life. And interestingly, Ybarra thinks this would be different from the toxic tipping trends the United States has now. I view this different from a pressure of tip type scenario many face and give feedback on. So I don't think this is a right idea. I think a lot of people are saying this is dumb. I don't think game devs would even earn the money itself. It just seems like it'd be really hard for them to actually go get that. It just seems stupid. I don't like tipping. I don't mind the idea if someone deserves it or they need to live. But at the same time, big companies like Activision, you don't need tips. Pay your employees more. Like, we can go and settle on that one. And then maybe go throw some cool skins. Like I said, there's fun things you can do to make it better. Throw some cool skins on there. Then the devs all get a split of it. And then basically everyone gets a nice little paycheck every quarter. And at the end of the day, everyone's happy. But instead, they just want people to give people money for free and getting nothing out of it. And this is why people are so out of touch. And it makes me very upset. So give me your thoughts and comments and everything down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch room as well. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Give me your thoughts down below.